Allah revealed all this scene in the Quran. وَإِذْ تَقُولُ لِلَّذِي أَنْعَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَأَنْعَمْتَ عَلَيْهِ أَمْسِكْ عَلَيْكَ زَوْجَكَ وَاتَّقِ اللَّهَ وَتُخْفِي فِي نَفْسِكَ مَا اللَّهُ مُبْدِيهِ وَتَخْشَى النَّاسَ وَاللَّهُ أَحَقُّ أَنْ تَخْشَاهُ. Allah says, فَلَمَّا قَضَى زَيْدٌ مِّنْهَا وَطَرًا زَوَّجْنَاكَهَا لِكَيْ لَا يَكُونَ عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ حَرَجٌ فِي أَزْوَاجِ أَدْعِيَائِهِمْ إِذَا قَضَوْا مِنْهُنَّ وَطَرًا وَكَانَ أَمْرُ اللَّهِ مَفْعُولًا. Allah Pak said, remember the time when you would say to that person whom you favored and Allah also favored, Allah bestowed His blessings upon him. You would say, أَمْسِكْ عَلَيْكَ زَوْجَكَ, hold on to your wife, وَاتَّقِ اللَّهِ, fear Allah. And you are hiding something in your heart which Allah was going to reveal. And you are fearing people, and you should fear Allah the most. And when Zayd, he accomplishes his task or he is finished with Zainab, then we have given her in your marriage. We have wedded you to him, زَوَّجْنَاكَهَا, so that in future there would be no haraj and no strictness and no ill feeling upon the believers and the mu'mineen regarding marrying the wife of their adopted son. Because an adopted son is not like a real son. You can't marry the wife of your real son forever until the Qiyamah. But adopted son is something different. You can marry his wife. The Jahiliyyah people, they used to think the adopted son is like a real son. You can't get married to his wife, same as you can't get married to your real son's wife. So Allah said, I wanted to break that rasam and that riwaj and that belief and practice of Jahiliyyah. That لِكَيْ لَا يَكُونَ عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ حَرَجٌ فِي أَزْوَاجِ أَدْعِيَائِهِمْ إِذَا قَضَوْا مِنْهُنَّ وَطَرًا وَكَانَ أَمْرُ اللَّهِ مَفْعُولًا. What Allah decrees is destined to happen. It will definitely happen. And it so happened. Zainab came in the house of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was very happy to her. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam did a big walima for Zainab. He had not done such big walima on any other wife. He invited as many people as he could. He cooked some real nice food. He sent Anas that go and call so and so and so and so and so. And whosoever you meet on the way. So he called so many people. Everybody came. And everybody started coming into the house, eating, going, eat, go, eat, go. And this is a good thing. If you can't hire a hall, and in that way, then you can call people for walima to your home, and give them different times. And that is exactly what I did for the walima of my son. I didn't want to hire a hall and do a big thing, but there were many friends and relatives who needed to be invited. So what we did, we kept walima at different times. I invited Hazrat. Hazrat said, I will come at 6 o'clock. And I knew Hazrat comes very early, so he was there 6:45, 15 minutes before. And Alhamdulillah, Dastarkhan was ready. And the first group sat down with Hazrat. And as soon as Hazrat went, my neighborhood, whosoever had come from, I told them, sit down now. And they sat down. And then after that, I had given time, 6 o'clock Hazrat, 5:30 so and so, 7 o'clock, the Asatiza of the Maktab and Madaris, 7:30 the Masjid Intizamiya Committee, and 8 o'clock Maulana Bilal Sahib from Bari, and everybody came on their times, coming, going. And from 6 o'clock till 9 o'clock, coming and going. Alhamdulillah, I fed 250 people in my house. The Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We have our homes. You can invite them in your home, give them different times. Imam Malik rahmatullah said, you can have walima for 7 days. Provided you invite different people, not the same people. But if you invite the same people for 7 days, then this is for show and fame. So that's not allowed. But if you invite different people, such group on one day, such group the other day, such group the other day, that's allowed. Or maybe in the morning, afternoon, evening, and you do that, then you don't need to hire a hall, you don't need to go all through those expensive costs. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam called everyone, and they used to come inside his house, eat and go, eat and go. The last batch, they ate, and then they just sat down there and they started talking. Now Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is coming in, going out, coming in. He couldn't say them, come on, bhai, get out now. But he was so shy that he could not say. And they were so busy, they were so into the gossip that they didn't realize what's going on. And suddenly after 3-4 times, they realized, oh, we made a mistake. And they got up, they went out. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed this in the Quran as well. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لَا تَدْخُلُوا بُيُوتَ النَّبِيِّ إِلَّا أَن يُؤْذَنَ لَكُمْ إِلَىٰ طَعَامٍ غَيْرَ نَاظِرِينَ إِنَاهُ وَلَكِنْ إِذَا دُعِيتُمْ فَادْخُلُوا فَإِذَا طَعِمْتُمْ فَانْتَشِرُوا وَلَا مُسْتَأْنِسِينَ لِحَدِيثٍ إِنَّ ذَلِكُمْ كَانَ يُؤْذِي النَّبِيَّ وَيَسْتَحْيِي مِنْكُمْ وَاللَّهُ لَا يَسْتَحْيِي مِنَ الْحَقِّ. It was hurting the Prophet But he wasn't saying anything because he was shy. But Allah is not shy of telling the truth. Don't do that in future. When you are invited, come, eat and go straight away. Don't sit there engaged in talk and conversation. And Alhamdulillah, the same thing happened at our house as well. Everybody just came, coming, going. No lengthy talk. When Bilal Sahib came, we had a long majlis with him at the end because he was the last person. So, Hazrat Zainab came into the house of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. After that, Hazrat Safiya radiallahu anha came. Hazrat Safiya radiallahu anha was from the Jewish community. She was the daughter of one of the leaders of the Jews by the name of Huyay ibn Akhtab. Now, Huyay ibn Akhtab had not embraced Islam. He died without Islam. His daughter, Safiya binti Huyay, was married to Kinana ibn Abil Huqayq. When Ghazwa Khaybar happened, and the Jews of Khaybar, because of their shararat and of their bad ways, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had to deal with them. And Khaybar was conquered, and the Jews came under control of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There were many captives, and the ruling regarding POWs, captives, is that we have choices regarding them. If we feel that someone is going to harm Islam in future, we are allowed to finish them off. And if we feel that we need to let someone free because he is harmless, we can let them off as well. And if we feel that they should be kept in the Muslims' households so they can see Islam from a close and maybe embrace Islam, so we can do that. So this was the aim behind the slavery of that time, which was taking place from before. I don't want to touch that topic. Now, Safiya radiallahu anha came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam married her. First he freed her, and then he married her. Sahaba did not know of this. They thought that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has kept her as a slave girl, as a maid. But no, Rasulullah raised her rank from being a slave girl or a maid to a free woman. And then he married her. When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw her, she had some mark on her cheeks. So he asked her, "Oh Safiya, what is this mark on your cheek?" And she replied, "Ya Rasulullah, once I saw this dream that I was sitting and the moon came down and fell in my lap. So in the morning, I related that dream to my husband, Kinana ibn Abil Huqayq, and he gave me a real bad slap on my cheek. And he said, 'You are dreaming of the leader of the Arabs? You are thinking of getting married to him?' Meaning he understood the interpretation that the moon is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and she is going to enter in his wedlock. And this happened before the battle of Khaybar. So he said, he understood the dream and he gave me a real bad slap and beating, and that's what left the scar. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was extremely gentle, kind person. ما ضرب رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بيده شيئا قط ولا امرأة ولا خادما إلا أن يجاهد في سبيل الله. This is the statement of Aisha radiallahu anha, that throughout his whole life, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam never ever raised his hand on a woman or on a khadim or not even on an animal, not a goat or a sheep. He was a very soft and kind and gentle person. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was extremely disturbed by seeing that scar on her face, and he said, "Tawbah, astaghfirullah, can you hit a woman like that? Is that possible that a person should smack and hit his wife in that manner?" Anyhow, she came into the house of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and this is how Allah Pak is connecting Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to other tribes as well. It is related that Safiya binti Huyay radiyallahu anha was from the family of Harun alayhi salam, the elder brother of Musa alayhi salam. Maybe that is why Allah brought her into the marriage of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Moving on, other wives, Hazrat Juwayriyah bintul Haris al-Mustalaqiyya radiyallahu anha came in the house of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam got married to her, the Sahaba in Medina Munawwara, who had many captives from Banu Mustalaq, they thought to themselves, "Oh, now these people are the susral and in-laws of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How can we keep them as our gulams and slaves and maids? It's beadbi, it's disrespectful." So they freed all the slaves they had in their homes just because of this one marriage of Juwayriyah to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Aisha radiallahu anha used to say, we have never seen anyone more blessed and barakati than Hazrat Juwayriyah radiallahu anha. Because of her, 100 households were freed among the houses of Medina Munawwara. So this was the wisdom behind that marriage. Behind Hazrat, moving on, Hazrat Maymuna bintul Haris radiallahu anha, she was also a widow. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam got married to her in the year 6 after Hijrah, at Sulh Hudaybiyah, or at Umratul Qaza time. So these are the wives of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He wedded them in the last 10 years of his life. And before that, 53 years of his life, he was content with one wife who was older than him, 15 years older than him. And behind these weddings, there was some wisdom and hikmah behind that. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is trying to tell us that arba'un min sunanil mursaleen. This is a sunnah of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. All the sunnah, you must get married and stay happy with a family, good family life. That is the best way of life. Moving on, we live in this society. Some time ago, somebody told me that there was this committee formed in order to check out, what is wrong with the British society. What is the biggest threat to Britain that this country has is from the breaking of the family life. There is a breakup of family life. There is no connection among families. Parents, grandparents, grandchildren, children, marriage. Everybody is running around like, wild animals, grazing wherever they want, eating whatever they like, jumping on whomsoever they like. This zina and fornication, whatever. There is no rule, there is no qanoon, and there is a huge breakup of family life. This is the biggest threat to our country. This is the most damaging thing to our country. That's the result he came up with. So this family life is the best life. You have to enter that life, stay a good family, your wife, your children. Once I came to London many years ago to distant relatives, and there is my wife's cousin brother. Now he is, maybe 25 years, a nice job, but he's not married. So I said to him, come on, get married. When you come back from work, what do? 5 o'clock. You have some dinner, and then you get a nice cassette, you put on, you movie, and you watch that movie for 2-3 hours. You're not content, you put another one. Maybe you go out with friends, do something. That's your life. And I also go to work. I also come back from home, from work from home. As soon as I come home, I sit on the sofa. I have my kids. One kid jumping on me from there, other one from there. Someone giving tabli on my head. Someone sitting in my lap. I hug them, kiss them, and my whole tension throughout the day is released. And this is the way. You tell me which one is better: watching that movie or playing with your kids. So you get married quickly. You will have your kids. Then you will realize how happy you are. And this thing got in his mind, and he did get married. MashaAllah, he's got 2 kids now. So you need this family life, and you need to, this is a very good path. Our Shariat is guiding us. Go on that path. After you get married, sometimes you think, I don't want kids. Now that's not right. Allah Pak, when Allah Pak is giving you kids, that it's a blessing from Allah. Don't reject the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Take it. It's a gift, it's a present from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So take the present, take that gift. So you need to get married. Now this relationship between a boy and a girl, man and a woman, we can divide it into 3 categories. Relationship before marriage, relationship after marriage, and the breaking of that relationship. The first category, relationship before marriage. To what extent can you keep your relationship? How far can you go? Are there any limits? On one side is the extreme that some people say, no, you can't have any relationship at all. You can't look at the girl can't look at the boy. The parents, they arrange everything, and the girl is forced to marry with that person, whether she likes him or not, whether he likes her or not. But this is it, it's fixed, and that's what should be done. Now that is some people's attitude. I'm talking about today's day-to-day our life. Now that is not correct. Islam says no. the father, the girl and the boy, they both have choices, options. They should look at one another and get together, see if they are, compatible for one another. They know one another well, from same area, same family, same culture, better. So this side is not allowed. And on the other side, you go on that extreme where they say you must check everything out. Have a long relationship, you get to know one another very well, and go out with one another, go to shopping malls, markets, and this and that, and also exceeding the limits, kissing and hugging and all that, text messaging and emails and all this. And na'uzubillah, if someone goes further, according to the custom of the society we live in, they will check out by sleeping as well. How good is he at sleeping as well? Then before we getting married. Now if someone goes to that extent, he's gone out of the limits. He's gone further and further and further away. This is not allowed either. You can't go to that extent. One Sufi boy came from India to Canada, Cambridge, to get married. And the girl had chosen the boy. She had known the boy from the same family. Good. Now when he comes to Canada, she keeps contact with him. So he is a Tablighi boy, he goes in Jamaat, he's a Sufi boy. He answers, her call. One day she says that tomorrow we're going to go shopping downtown. You have to come with me. And he said, look, this is not allowed. If people see us together in the shopping area, what will they think? That these are not, the wedding has not taken, Nikah has not been done, and they are already running around. He said, this is not allowed. And the girl slams the phone down, says to her father, I don't want to get married to him. I told him to come with me to town for shopping, and he said, no, I don't marry him. Now what the boy said was correct. He was trying to instruct her the correct ruling. But she is stubborn, and she's saying, no, he has to do what I say. If he's not coming with me, I'm not getting married. She cancelled the marriage. Now this is wrong. This is not allowed. You can't go to that extreme. Both are not allowed. The middle way is that both parties get together, know one another. Like, some time ago, there was this really nice interview of Dr. Abdul, the head of MCB in Telegraph. And there were some questions put before him. One of the questions was about marriage, that, Muslims, you force your children to marry. So he replied, no, there is no such thing as forced marriage in Islam. However, there is something called arranged marriage. And there is a difference between the two. You can't force a child to get married. However, you can arrange things, find a suitable partner, get them together, they know one another, speak to one another, not lengthy conversations, just whatever is possible. And then if they like one another, they get married. Of course, love is necessary for marriage. If there is no love, no affection for one another, there is no point in getting married. That is why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Lam tara lil mutahabbaini misla nikah." If two people like one another, then the best thing for them is marriage. So if a boy likes a girl, she likes him, then it's better to get them married rather than phoning, texting, email. Just think that if they are both compatible with one another, then you should get them married. And this is the Islamic guidance. Valentine's Day is very close. Sending gifts, presents, flowers, cards, chocolates, expressing your love for the other person. Now, if there is something, if you are going to get married to that person, and there is some relationship between the two, maybe sending a gift or something is allowed. Okay. But if there is no question of getting married, then why flirt with that other person? Why send them the gifts and presents? It's not allowed, it's haram. It's a form of zina. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that zina of the eyes is looking, the zina of the ears is listening, zina of the tongue is speaking, and zina of the hands is touching, and zina of the feet is walking to the place of zina, and the final act is performed by the organ. So these are all muqaddamat and beginnings of zina. So if you are not getting married to her, you don't know one another, then sending these flowers is not allowed. And another reason for that is there is tashabbuh in there. Copycat, being a copycat. Why should a Muslim copy the tradition of other people? Have you ever seen Jewish people copying other people's tradition? No, they stick to their traditions. That we have this guideline from our religion, and they follow that. They don't do what others do. So we as Muslims, we have our guidelines. Why should we copycats of other people and do what they do? If you do want to send a gift or something, don't send it on the exact day which they are sending. Send it 3-4 days later, and you will get that gift cheap present at half price as well. But don't send it on that exact day to be a copycat. This idea was given to me by Yahya Bhai. Yahya Bhai is the one who arranged this program. May Allah reward him. So, going to that extreme, if there is no intention of marriage, then sending these flowers and gifts and presents will not be allowed. Now, what is the reality of Valentine's Day? Yahya Bhai informed me from the internet that some time ago, the Romans, they brought a strict rule of not marrying people. That, you can't get married. Marriage is banned. So there was someone who came up with this, that no, marriage should be allowed and people should get married. And in order to create that romance between people, he fixed this date of 14 February, and then people started exchanging gifts and expressing their love for one another. So it's from then that this Valentine's Day originated. Someone once texted me this joke regarding Valentine's Day. That Valentine's Day came when the British were ruling over India. Now, there was when the husbands don't listen to their wives, so all the wives got together in one village and they got all their velans. Velan is the belan with which you spread that roti. It's called belan in Urdu and velan in Gujarati. So all the ladies got together and say, today is Valentine Day. Valentine Day. But get with your velans behind your husbands and tell them to do what they have to do. So Valentine's Day is Valentine Day. So this was just a joke. But anyhow, this type of thing is not allowed if you have no intention of getting married to that person. If you are entering into the wedlock and some things have been arranged, both families have gone through the correct procedures, then okay, you send some gift to her or she sends some gift to you, this is allowed. And the Sahabas, they used to send some gifts. Rasulullah said some clothes or some ring or something like that allowed, provided you don't do the exact copy of wearing in this finger. Because wearing in this finger, the wedding ring, marriage engagement ring in that finger and wedding ring in this finger is also a sign. Because this is the third finger, so because of the Trinity, they wear the engagement ring in the third finger and the wedding ring in the middle finger for some reason. So don't do all these copycats and going through all the cakes and cutting off the cakes. And in front of the whole gathering, the dulha cutting the cake and putting in the mouth. All these things, these customs come from other people. Islam has nothing to do with these things. So one is the relationship before marriage. There is a limit to it. Islam doesn't say you can't look at one another, and it doesn't say on the other side that you can go to the end and highest extremes. There is a middle way in between. Get together, look at one another, and if you like one another, get married. Mughira ibn Shu'bah radiyallahu anhu, he said to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Ya Rasulullah, I intend to get married to this woman from Al-Ansar. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Idhab fanzur ilayha, fa inna fi a'yuni al-ansari shay'an. Go and see her first, because in the eyes of Ansar there is something. And what is that? Mufassirin say some bluish color or some other thing. Their eyes were small. Now why did Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam say that? Because Rasulullah was consulted. He was asked a mashwara. So in mashwara, you have to say the correct thing. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told him the correct thing, that this is better for you. Go and see her. If you like her, then get married. He went, he saw her, he liked her, and he got married. Imam Nawawi rahmatullahi alayhi narrates regarding Hazrat Mughira ibn Shu'bah radiyallahu anhu that he was a jolly person, smiley, was joking person. Once he was going in a battle, and he was tired as well, and he was carrying everything, his bags and this and that. He was carrying his heavy spear as well. He was tired. So what he did, he threw his spear and he kept on going. And when they went and camped at that place, someone from behind who had picked up that spear, and he comes and he said, well, whose spear is this? Whose spear is this? Mughira ibn Shu'bah, it's mine, thank you very much. So Ali radiallahu anhu came to know of this, and he said, you did that on purpose, didn't you? You threw it down so someone else can pick it up and bring it for you. You don't have to carry it. He said, I'm going to tell Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Mughira ibn Shu'bah, no, please don't tell him. If you tell him, then he will announce a rule that from now on no one should pick anything up of anybody. So until the day of Qiyamah, nobody will pick anything up for anybody. So don't say, I won't do it in the future. Mughira ibn Shu'bah radiallahu anhu, Imam Nawawi narrates that throughout his lifetime, he married 300 women. Because he was among the governors and his placement was changed every now and then. So whenever he was sent from Kufa to Basra or to Baghdad or to Iraq or to Yemen or to Iran or Sham, he would go there, he would be there for a few months, he would get married. And after he has to go somewhere, he gets married that place. After he goes somewhere, he gets married there. Once Mughira ibn Shu'bah radiallahu anhu went to, he proposed for a girl. And the lady wanted to see him and called him over. So Mughira said, okay, and he went. And when he went there, he saw that there was a young man as well, and he had also proposed. So he thought to himself, oh no, if that girl sees me and him, I am old, he is young, so she's definitely going to marry him. So I have to work some way out. So the girl is behind the curtain, and Mughira ibn Shu'bah radiallahu anhu got this person into conversation. And in the conversation, and he, pumped him up. And the young man started boasting. And then he said, how is your hisab kitab? Oh, my hisab kitab is perfect. If I bring anything in the house, I take care of note of everything, every grain, rice and wheat and barley and date and everything I know. And Mughira ibn Shu'bah said, oh, as for me, I don't know hisab kitab, counting and the accounts and this. I just bring whatever is needed and I leave it in the house until when the next one is there, I bring the other one. So the girl is listening from behind the curtain. She thinks to himself, yeah, this Sakhi old man is better than the spindly young man. And he got married to Mughira ibn Shu'bah radiallahu anhu. So this is that what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam created in the society. Sahaba, there was very, very simple thing, getting married. One Sahabi wanted to get married to a girl and he wanted to see her. So very close to her house, there was a tree. He climbed on the tree to look at her. Because he didn't want to look at her while she is ready, and he wanted to see how she behaves in her normal clothes. So it's allowed to look at the other person before getting married, talking to them, if you want to know anything, asking questions up to a certain limit. And when you have known what you want to know, then that conversation should be finished until you get married. After that, let's say what happens today is people get engaged, and then after 1 year is the marriage, and after 6 months is the rukhsati. So why this lengthy time? Once you are engaged, in our elders, they used to say, Jat mangni pat viya. Mangni karo or foreign shad. That you engage and get married straight away, rukhsati, everything finished. Let them stay happy. Why should they keep on texting and emailing and all that? Once they get together, what happens is sometimes you engage and then conversations take place, and then one person doesn't like something of the other, or the other person says something he doesn't like, and then there's a breakup. So this we should be particular about this, that engagement immediately shadi and then rukhsati. And this is what should be happening. There should be some love and connection, because love is the bond in the marriage. If there is love and muhabbat of one another, then the marriage will prevail and it will go on, continue. Many times this love is the reason of marriage. As long as it's pak and pure and clean, there is no harm in it. Napak love is no good. Shaykh Yunus Sahib used to say, ishq wali shadiyan wo टिकती नहीं है. और जो माँ बाप जो शादियाँ कराते हैं वो टिकती हैं, इसलिए कि इश्क में फिस्क है. इश्क में फिस्क है. और माँ बाप जो शादी कराते हैं तो माँ बाप की दुआएं उसके पीछे. तो माँ बाप जो मिल करके अच्छी तरह सोच विचार करके चला कराते हैं, उसमें उनकी माँ बाप की दुआएं पीछे होती हैं. तो कहीं झगड़े हों, लड़ाइयाँ हों, तो माँ बाप की दुआएं होती हैं, तो वो चलती रहती है. लेकिन इश्क हो तो वो कुछ मुद्दत बाद जब वो इश्क की फिस्क उतर जाती है, शादी खत्म हो जाती है. So he was saying that ishq, the shadis which are based on ishq, they not at all times do they survive. Many a time there is breakup. The reason for that is that with ishq there is fisq. Fisq means breaking the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Meaning you start talking with one another, you start sending one another dirty texts, dirty emails, dirty photos, and things like this. and then you get together, you kiss, you hug, and you do this. This is all fisk. This is all outside marriage. So this is fisk, because that fisk is taking place before marriage, then that ishq is fisk, and because of that, the marriage does not survive. When the beginning is of fisk, then how is it going to survive? But when the parents get together, both families, and they arrange, and they like one another, and then they get married, then what happens is, the parents' du'as are behind it. And whenever something happens, there is an argument, the parents pray, oh Allah, please save their marriage, please help them, please keep that love in between them. And because of their du'as and their encouragement and their advices, the marriage keeps going. And after 2, 3, 4 children, take place, and the marriage survives after that. It sets down after a few kids, and then there is normally there is no breakup after a few kids. So this is with regards to the ishq and muhabbat. Sometimes love and muhabbat can take you to marriage and survive as well. Basha Alamgir got married to his wife Noor Jahan. And how did he like her? There was a function, because the kings and princes, they used to have functions. So in that function, the prince was there, many others from the family, some princesses were there as well. Noor Jahan was a young girl, she was there as well. Now Alamgir, he had a habit of carrying 2 special pigeons in his hand. Now he was trained, and he was an expert of carrying them, pigeons with him. So during that function, he had the pigeons in his hand. And suddenly, he developed this need to do something, and he wanted someone to hold on to those pigeons. So he was looking around, he couldn't find no one, and Noor Jahan was there. And he, wait, hold this. So quickly, somehow, she held on to the pigeons.